Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 7th of June. Indian states bear brunt of scorching temperatures, heat-related ailments on the rise. German Foreign Minister says won't recognize Taliban as dire Afghan conditions persist. And crisis at Sri Lanka needs $5 billion in next 6 months, help from China for essentials. And now for all the details. People in parts of India continue to bear the brunt of scorching temperatures on Tuesday, while hospitals are witnessing a spike in patients with heat-related health problems. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast the heat wave conditions will continue over northwest, central and eastern India during the next 3 days.
Scorching temperatures after a brief spell of rain are once again giving a tough time to residents across parts of India as they struggle to carry out their daily activities. The Weather Office on Tuesday predicted the heat wave conditions were likely to continue over northwest, central and east India during the next 3 days, while a yellow alert has been issued for capital New Delhi. The maximum temperature in the city was recorded at 44 degrees Celsius by afternoon, while people chose to stay indoors. Hospitals in the most populous Uttar Pradesh state reported they are witnessing a spike in patients, especially children, with heat-related health issues. Summers in India are generally accompanied by a host of diseases including diarrhea, gastroenteritis and dehydration.
टेम्परेचर जो है 40 से लेके 44-45 तक जा रहा है और इसका असर तो पड़ता ही है. काफ़ी बच्चे और बड़े बुखार, डायरिया, डिसेंट्री के साथ आ रहे हैं, एडमिट हो रहे हैं, ठीक होके जा रहे हैं.
Meanwhile, plumes of smoke continue to rise in the forest area in Poonch, northern Jammu and Kashmir territory, and at Delhi's Bulletin landfill site, where extreme heat led to fire incidents in recent days. The fire in both the areas have been brought under control, officials said. Earlier in late April, the landfill site had reported massive fires that had continued for 3 weeks and left nearby residents gasping for air as they complained of breathing problems.
And security forces on Tuesday neutralised 2 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists, including one Pakistani, in a gunfight in Kupwara district of India's Jammu and Kashmir. On Monday, another Pakistani terrorist was gunned down in Baramulla district. This comes as Kashmir Valley has witnessed a spate in targeted killings of civilians by terrorists in recent days.
2 terrorists, including one Pakistani terrorist affiliated with LET Lashkar-e-Taiba outfit, were killed in an encounter with security forces in Kupwara district of India's Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday. The gunfight broke out early in the morning in Kupwara's Chaktaras Kandi area. The Pakistani terrorist had codenamed Tufail, the police said. This came a day after another Pakistani terrorist belonging to LET was gunned down in Baramulla district, while 2 other terrorists managed to escape.
कुपवाड़ा पुलिस और आर्मी के ऑपरेशन लॉन्च किया था, जिसमें 2 टेररिस्ट मारे गए हैं लश्कर तैयबा का. एक पाकिस्तानी टेररिस्ट है, एक त्राल का है.
The Kashmir Valley has seen a spate in violence with more than a dozen targeted killings of mainly non-Muslims and migrant workers by terrorists in the past 2 months. Security forces have claimed more than 80 terrorists have also been neutralised in anti-terror operations this year.
And news from Pakistan. Pakistan's Finance Minister Miftah Ismail said on Tuesday the price of petroleum products would increase further in the country days after fuel prices were increased by 17% and around 20% before that. Speaking at pre-budget seminar, Ismail lashed out at the previous Imran Khan-led government for messing up the economic policies of the country. A day earlier, Miftah said the government did not have any plans to impose financial emergency or freezing the foreign currency accounts, quashing rumours about it on social media. The rumours have also impacted markets on Monday. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif would soon be announcing austerity measures to reduce government expenditure, he said. Meanwhile, as Pakistan and the IMF, International Monetary Fund, have yet to reach an agreement on the fiscal framework, Ismail said that he was very confident about the deal. Islamabad is making last-ditch efforts to convince IMF to move ahead with manageable fiscal adjustments of 1.5 to 2% of gross domestic product in the coming budget. Well, moving on, raging forest fires in parts of Pakistan-administered Kashmir have become a cause of worry among the locals as they are severely affecting the ecology of the region. Residents have lamented the Pakistani authorities have taken no action so far to stop the fire and protect the wildlife.
Residents in Pakistan-administered Kashmir have raised concern over raging forest fires and lamented inactions by authorities to check such incidents which are affecting the biodiversity of the illegally occupied region. They blamed that some forest department officials are also involved in illegal felling of trees while the fire is destroying the natural environment and they are selling the trees in the Pakistani markets. Locals have requested the Pakistani authorities to take strict action against forest arsonists and deploy guards to protect the wildlife.
महकमा जंगलात का भी कोई आदमी नज़र नहीं आया, ना ही इस आग को बुझाने की कोशिश की गई है। मैंने मुजफ्फराबाद से सफ़र शुरू किया, तकरीबन ये 50 किलोमीटर सफ़र है। इस सफ़र के दौरान मैंने 3 जगह पे आग जंगलात में मुख्तलिफ मकामात पर लगी हुई देखी है।
Locals have now become increasingly intolerant of Pakistani occupation as Islamabad maintains a negligent attitude and ignores even their basic demands.
And German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, during her maiden visit to Pakistan on Tuesday, called for the international community to send Afghanistan's Taliban leadership the message that it is heading in the wrong direction while the country looms under a humanitarian and economic crisis. She said Germany will not recognize the Taliban as the legitimate rulers of Afghanistan as long as dire conditions under the Islamists persist.
Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock on Tuesday urged for a united international call on the Taliban for change and said that Germany will not recognize the Taliban as the legitimate rulers as long as dire conditions under the Islamists persist in Afghanistan. The minister made the remarks after holding bilateral talks with her Pakistani counterpart Bilawal Bhutto Zardari in Islamabad. No foreign government has formally recognized the Taliban since they took over Afghanistan last August. She warned of a looming humanitarian and economic crisis in a country in which she said girls were deprived of education, women were excluded from public life, and dissenting voices were suppressed. Pakistan's new foreign minister Bilawal said the Taliban should heed international community concerns on rights and security.
We see, in my point of view, that the Taliban are heading towards the wrong direction, and therefore it is also crucial that economic supports need to be conditionalized with regard to the basic rights of the people.
This comes as the United Nations World Food Programme and the Food and Agriculture Organization, in a report on Tuesday, issued an early warning alert for an urgent humanitarian action in Afghanistan and 20 other hotspots, where hunger is expected to worsen from June to September 2022.
And moving on to news from Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, in a special statement to Parliament on Tuesday, said the country will need $5 billion over the next 6 months to ensure basic living standards and is renegotiating the terms of a yuan-denominated swap worth $1.5 billion with China so as to fund essential imports.
Sri Lanka will need $5 billion over the next 6 months to ensure basic living standards, and the next 3 weeks will be a difficult time to obtain fuel and gas, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe told Parliament on Tuesday. The island nation's worst economic crisis in 7 decades led to a shortage of foreign exchange that stalled imports of essential items such as fuel, medicine and fertilizer, provoking devaluation, street protest and a change of government. To tide over the turmoil, Sri Lanka will need about $3.3 billion for fuel imports, $900 million for food, $250 million for cooking gas and $600 million more for fertilizer this year, the Prime Minister said. The central bank has estimated the economy will contract by 3.5% in 2022, Wickremesinghe said, but added that he was confident growth could return with a strong reform package, debt restructuring and international support. The Indian Ocean nation of 22 million is negotiating a loan package worth about $3 billion from the International Monetary Fund, in addition to help from countries such as India, China and Japan. On Tuesday, the Cabinet approved a 55 million credit line from India's Exim Bank to fund 150,000 tons of urea imports, a critical requirement as supplies have run out during the current cropping season. Sri Lanka was also renegotiating with China the terms of a yuan-denominated swap worth $1.5 billion agreed last year. The international terms provided that the swap could only be used if Sri Lanka maintained reserves equivalent to 3 months of imports. But with reserves now well below that level, Sri Lanka has to request China to reconsider the requirement and allow the swap to proceed, Wickremesinghe said. Wickremesinghe, who is also Finance Minister, will unveil an interim budget next month that he said aims to slash government expenses and looks to increase annual welfare spending to $500 million from about $350 million.
Well, after a gap of 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the 5-day annual festival Ambubachi Mela at the centuries-old historic Kamakhya Temple in India's northeastern Assam state is set to return from 22nd of June.
The annual Ambubachi Mela, celebrated in the famous Kamakhya Temple in India's northeastern Assam state, will be held this year from 22nd June after being suspended for the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Mela or fair was not celebrated at Kamakhya Temple in Guwahati city in a festive manner, and devotees were not allowed in the temple premises in the last 2 years due to the COVID-19 situation in the state. The head priest of the Kamakhya Temple, Kabindra Prasad Sarma, said the Ambubachi Mela, the biggest congregation of devotees in the northeast, will be observed this year in a festive manner.
22 का अम्बुबाची मेला 22 जून रात 8:15 में प्रवृत्ति होगी। उसी समय से माँ का द्वार बंद हो जाएंगे। इसके अलावा हम लोग 23, 24, 25 3 दिन माँ का द्वार बंद रहेंगी, पूजा भोग कोई भी नहीं हो पाएंगे। 26 को दर्शनार्थी के लिए द्वार खुला जाएंगे।
Temple authorities have said they will follow COVID-19 protocols to observe the festival this year. Considered to be the most auspicious occasion, Ambubachi festival celebrates the strength of females and the power of procreation.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian states bear brunt of scorching temperatures, heat-related ailments on the rise. German Foreign Minister says won't recognize Taliban as dire Afghan conditions persist. And crisis hit Sri Lanka needs $5 billion in next 6 months. Help from China for essentials. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.